Hello, another week, another video, and I thought I'd change it up a little bit with my little starting part here and sit in the back by the river and show off a little bit of where I'm staying. This is pretty cool to have this backing onto the property, or the property backing onto it, I guess. I can't remember what I said last week about what was going to be in this week's video, if I said the roof rack or the bed. I think I said the roof rack, but it's actually going to be the bed. The roof rack is still just waiting to have the final pieces put up. Again, needing strong people to help me with that. So doing the bed footage instead. This will be a little bit of a rigmarole, bouncing all over the place though, because I had to change some design pieces throughout. So I'll show you, I'll try and cut it together into a way that makes sense. But if there are parts that you're like, wait a second, that's not there anymore, that's why. I wanted to make it really fancy. That ended up just not really being an option, so made it half fancy. Happy enough with it. Initially, my plan for the bed was to just pick up a metal frame, kind of jimmy rig it into the back, chop it up as I needed. But as I've thought about it more, and with the plan that I have that includes being able to fold down the part near your feet to create a bit of a bench, I just think the amount of kind of metal work that it would take to make that is going to be more than just building that frame out of wood. So I'm changing pace, and we'll put this back together and sell it on Marketplace. But today I'm going to build out the wood frame, hopefully for the bed, and then figure out where to chop it in half for that bench part.
So already got started here a bit. I'm building out the external edge of the frame. There's a small portion of this that makes it not perfectly rectangular, which made it a little bit complicated, and lots of fitting in and out of the van before this point. But once I was happy with the angle and the portion that I needed to be missing, you can see in that one corner, put this together and tested it with the slats that go across that hold the mattress.
Okay. Whoa. Aim. There we go. So, I know what you're thinking. Mike, you just made a shitty piece of IKEA furniture. And you're not completely wrong. It does look very much like that. But the purpose of doing this in wood and doing it how I want it to be shaped is I can chop it up and attach things to it. This way, that'll be a lot easier than if I did it in metal. And you can see it's got a little bit of customization with a corner cut off of it. That helps it fit in a not square van. So, now I get to cut the end off of this.
once I had the whole thing put together and the end cut off there to be the bench, you can see me here putting the runners on that will hold, attach onto the support that keeps it a bed when we want it to be a bed, and slide back to give space for the bench when we want it to be a bench. This was the beginning of some of the changes that I needed to make. You can see here I'm laying them flat, which is not their strongest direction, and so ended up being a little bit too bendy when it was fully done. The other piece that actually made this even messier, these are 90 kilo runners, which I thought would be fine for my needs, but what isn't explained very well around runners is that the weight that they say that they're set for is not at full extension. It's actually basically at zero extension. So with the runners fully extended out, holding the bed, they just weren't strong enough to, even in their proper direction, weren't strong enough to support both the bed and someone sitting on the edge of it, which will inevitably happen when I'm trying to get in and out of the bed. So I had to actually replace these with some more industrial level ones that are good for up to 227 kilos in, and I think 213 odd kilos fully extended out, which is more than enough.
behind me. But it's shining in on what I wanted to show you. It's not perfect yet. I think I need to change the runners underneath. They're currently flat and they're bending a little bit, which is resulting in the bottom of this being a little wonky. I think I need to change them to be like this. They're way stronger that way. And I got the space to do that, so I think that will be my plan to fix that, but I figured I'd give you a little bit of a demo. So, in bed form like this, again, it's going to be a little tighter. Fixed height-wise there to hold the mattress. And then when we want to turn it into a bench, we'll just push that in. And we'll be able to slide in and be a bench like this. You're probably like, hey Mike, those are a really weird placement for the 4 legs. It's really wonky, and you're not wrong. But the reason for that is that this whole wall is getting attached directly to the van.
Putting the bed in, one thing I didn't think about actually was the amount of torque that would be put on the bed frame, even though it is nice and structurally sound. When sitting, dead center on it or laying on it, sitting on the edge of it puts a lot of pressure going in the opposite corner, and so I had to make sure that they were really well secured to the floor, because they'll actually be pulling just as much as they're pushing.
Okay, a little messy. You can see me boxing out the windows and some other fun things. But I'm not sure if I actually ever showed the updated fixed version with the runners in the bed. So this is now what it looks like in its final stage. I got rid of the hinges on a runner system because it just wasn't tight enough to do what I wanted in the way that I wanted it. So now this piece just comes right off and has 2 little edges that it can sit on. And the final step of this will just to be put 2 little latches on the connection points just to hold it in place. So it doesn't get pushed off in the middle of the night for some reason like that. But it's stable. It's not moving anywhere. So it'll work as a bed. So that's the bed in basically its final form. Obviously it doesn't have a mattress yet. That the final form will include that. And I'll have to kind of create some sort of strapping to hold the mattress on, particularly for the bench part. But for all intents and purposes, basically done. I've got a place to sleep now once I put the mattress on it. And hopefully be testing it out fairly soon. For that reason, I got a camping trip set up at the beginning of March that we'll test it out on. Following this, if for some reason I don't get the roof rack video next week, which I think it should be, I'm very hopeful that it should be, we're working on cabinets and walls, which are also exciting and starting to look like somewhere to live. So be able to show some of that and go from there. So thanks, hopefully you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.